please call the order.
Calling the roll for the Monday, December 23rd, 2024 Board of Control meeting. It is 11 a.m. We have Councilmember Dale Miller,
Present.
Trevor Meckler serving as an alternate for Purnell Jones Jr.,
Here.
Mike Dever, Catherine Gallagher serving as an alternate for Chris Renee, County Executive,
Here.
Michael Chambers, Fiscal Officer serving as Chairman,
Here.
Paul Porter.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda is a review and the approval of the minutes from December 16th. I will make a motion. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Dever. All in favor to approve the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes are approved. Public comment?
No public comment.
Let's go to our first item.
First item, new item for review, BC 2024-965, Department of Public Works requesting authority to apply for grant funds from Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District in the amount of $2,054,076.68 for Fitch Road Sanitary Sewer Extension Project in connection with Member Community Infrastructure Grant Program for the period January 1st, 2025 through project completion, and submitting a Member Community Infrastructure Grant Program agreement in connection with said application.
Good morning, everyone. Tom Pavich, Public Works. This item, we're applying for grant funds from the Regional Sewer District on behalf of the township. This is specific to the Fitch Road Sewer Extension Project.
Thank you, Mr. Pavich. Are there any questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve it. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. McAleer. All in favor to approve, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Item approved. Next item?
Next item, BC 2024-966, Department of Public Works submitting an RFP exemption which will result in an award recommendation to Montrose Ford Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $186,148 for state contract purchase of 4 2025 Ford Interceptors for use by the Sanitary Division and submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption.
Good morning again, Tom Pavich, Public Works. This is a PO with Montrose Ford. 4 hybrid SUVs for Sanitary Division. They're going to be replacing several vehicles, 2017, 2018 Explorers and Transit Connects, which those are going to be pushed down to the trades, which those vehicles will be replaced, and those will go on Gov Deals. The procurement's off of the State of Ohio contract, which was previously bid in or negotiated.
Thank you, Mr. Pavich. Are there any questions from the board on this item? Okay, seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve it. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Miller. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved.
Let the record reflect Meredith Turner is now present.
Next item, please.
You just missed the one, so we're right there.
Next item, BC 2024-967, Department of Public Works submitting an RFP exemption which will result in an award recommendation to Home Depot USA Incorporated in the total amount not to exceed $49,500 for routine equipment and material purchases for the period January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025 for various divisions as listed in items 1 through 5 on the printed agenda and submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption.
Good morning, Tom Pavich again, Public Works. This is our annual purchase order with Home Depot. We try to strategize and have a big box retail store for MRO, which is maintenance, repair, and operating supplies for all of our divisions. They're quick one-offs. It could be lumber, chains, mops, miscellaneous stuff that we wouldn't ordinarily bid out because it's a low dollar value and impact. We usually select Home Depot due to their proximity at the Steelyard Commons location, which is, I think, from our Harvard office, like 1.3 miles, and downtown facilities, just a couple more miles. It's the closest big box retail store for MRO.
Thank you, Mr. Pavich. Are there any questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve it. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Turner. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item is approved.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
Next item, BC 2024-968, Department of Development submitting an RFP exemption which will result in award recommendation to Penwill Group LLC in the amount not to exceed $287,500 for technical assistance, administrative support for the Office of Small Business, and outreach support to small business entities, effective upon signatures of all parties for a period of 1 year, and submitting a contract with said RFP exemption.
Good morning, Vaughn Johnson, Department of Development. This is a contract with the Pinwheel Group to assist the Office of Small Business with the more than 700 businesses that have reached out to us for assistance, as well as being a technical assistance provider for MBE businesses as well as WBE businesses. I also want to mention that the Pinwheel Group is a true small business. They are also a minority-owned business and a woman-owned business, and the president and her associate are here, Erica Pennick and Felicia Townsend from the Pinwheel Group.
Thank you, Vaughn. Are there questions from the board on this item?
Yes,
Councilman, please.
so I saw in the responses to the questions that this is a new contract.
Yes, sir.
And my question is, how does this relate to, compete with, expand upon, or interact with the other small business programs that we're currently running in and around the department?
Sure, thank you for that. If you're referring to the Small Business Supports Grant Program that we have, that is a grant program that we have with 6 small business support partners that provide lending services and technical assistance services to the small business, minority business, and woman-owned business ecosystem. One of the things that the Pinwheel Group is going to do is internally assist us with the more than 700 businesses that have reached out for assistance, as well as become another technical assistance provider for MBEs and WBEs. One of the things that we learned in the Office of Small Business is the majority of those minority businesses that reach out to us, they need technical assistance first. So we want to be able to expand the technical assistance providers so that those businesses can get the support and help that they need.
So, were there multiple bidders on this contract?
On this, no, there were not.
So how were they selected?
They were selected on their expertise and also their availability. This is mission critical for us. The Pinwheel Group has combined experience of over 50 years working with small businesses, minority businesses, women-owned businesses, and Felicia Townsend is actually one of the few people in the state of Ohio that actually holds a certified business advisor credential, which is a master's level credential from the Kent State University. And over their tenure, they have worked with hundreds of small businesses. They're known in the ecosystem. They've worked with the county before on a variety of projects. So we wanted to bring them on board to assist us.
And this is being paid for not out of the department's budget, but out of the Economic Development Fund, which is the fund that we use to assist businesses. Is that correct?
It comes from the ED fund, that's correct. And these resources they're already encumbered. So this isn't something that's new. These funds are already encumbered for this.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Are there additional questions? Seeing no further questions, I will make a motion to approve the item. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Miller. All in favor to approve, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item's approved.
Thank you.
Next item.
Next item, BC 2024-969, Fiscal Office, on behalf of the County Executive's Office, recommending an award on RQ 14878 and submitting a contract with Cypress Partners LLC in the amount not to exceed $147,000 for state advocacy services for the period January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2026.
Good morning, Dominique Tatum, Fiscal Department. This is a contract with Cypress. This contract is for state lobbying services.
Thank you, Dominique. Are there questions from the board on this item?
Yes. What is the status of our contract for federal lobbying services?
We renewed that contract in December. It's with Macaulay. So that contract is active. I think it was renewed probably in June or July this summer.
And how long was it renewed for?
Until December 31st of 2025.
Okay.
Are there additional questions? Seeing no further questions, I will make a motion to approve the item. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Mike Dever. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item.
Next item, BC 2024-970, Department of Information Technology submitting an amendment to a contract with AT&T Corporation for measured business line services for the period January 1st, 2019 through December 31st, 2024, to extend the time period to December 31st, 2025, to change the terms effective upon signatures of all parties and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $462,000.
Good morning, Brianna Way, Department of Information Technology. This item, we're amending the contract with AT&T. It's a measured business line. These are analog lines that service elevator phones, security system, burglar alarms. The age of the system, no other providers provide this. AT&T has alerted us that this is something that they're not going to continue indefinitely and have encouraged us to explore other opportunities. That's what we're doing in 2025. We're looking at cellular service to replace it, but we have to do case studies and procurement and all of this. We have to check every avenue possible on that. So that's why we're amending this contract.
Okay, Brianna, thank you. Are there questions from the board? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve the item. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Mike Dever. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved. Next item?
Next item, BC 2024-971, Department of Information Technology submitting an amendment to a contract with Charter Communications Operating LLC, DBA Spectrum, for dark fiber maintenance services for the period October 1st, 2014 through January 12th, 2025, to extend the time period to January 12th, 2030, effective upon signatures of all parties, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $284,068.64.
Good morning, Brianna Witt with IT again. This is an amendment with Charter Communications. This is our fiber lines. They service 6 of our buildings. Now we reduced them down. We reduced 5 from the last contract. It reduces the cost. Each line has gone up roughly $100 a month, but reducing almost half the buildings we serve has saved us some funds there. And the buildings we have removed from service are, one second, please. We no longer service Reserve Square, the old Juvenile Court, Superior Viaduct Building, Marion Building, and Ohio Means Jobs, now that they're a nonprofit and they're not part of the county anymore.
Okay, thank you. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Dever. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item is approved. Next item?
Next item, BC 2024-972, Department of Information Technology submitting an amendment to a contract with Strategic Government Solutions Incorporated, Identity as a Service, provided by Auth-O for the period February 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2024, to extend the time period to July 31st, 2026, to replace the insurance coverage and terms with Schedule 1, effective upon signatures of all parties, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $28,368.30.
Thank you, Brianna Witt with IT again. This contract allows us to manage our single sign-on functionality, so that means our ERP, any other systems that integrate with that, we can sign in all with one user ID with the county, rather than needing to stoke individual accounts with their own passwords.
Okay, thank you. Questions from the board? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Dever. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item is approved. Next item?
Next item, BC 20.
Oh, I apologize. Yeah.
I had a question and didn't get it in on time, but
My bad.
my question is regarding the piece about it being a mid-year contract as far as the end date is concerned. And we seem to have gone back and forth about this, about sometimes wanting to have contracts end at the end of the year, and then now we're going back to the middle of the year. And my question is, having it end in the middle of the year, does this create any additional complications in the fact that it doesn't end at the end of a budget year and it has funds in multiple years and part of 1 year?
Thank you for the question. No, it doesn't provide budget implications. A lot of the contracts, a lot of POs we have with services we have to pay entirely upfront, and some services we pay a monthly basis. So either way, that's just a budgeting, something we are aware of and make sure that we have funds available in multiple years to do so. The reason why we are trying to set up contracts. We'll do 18 months to get it into a mid-year situation. Allows us, with vendors, there's a lot of back and forth, and being on a mid-year, really tight deadlines, so this gets us into a little more flexibility when we're in negotiations for amendments.
And is there a reason why we chose 7/31 as opposed to 6/30?
Just because that's how many months we wanted to add on to it. It's not a specific, we didn't pick a specific end period, rather than we just picked a time frame.
Okay.
Are there additional questions? Okay, seeing no further questions, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Dever. All in favor to approve, say aye. Opposed? The item is approved. Next item.
Next, item BC 2024-973, Department of Information Technology recommending an award on RQ 14488 and submitting a contract with INRAX Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $51,000 for third-party data management for shared mobility devices effective upon signatures of all parties for a period of 2 years.
Thank you, Brianna Witt with IT, also on behalf of sustainability. This is a contract with INREX. This is going to allow us to collect data on our shared mobility services. That's our bike sharing, scooter sharing, those services that contract with us and participate in the county. We are wanting to collect the data. It helps us serve economic development. We can know where the services are used, what periods of time they're used, what events they're used. It allows us to coordinate with other municipalities. So we're going to start with 5 at this moment. So we're going to start with Cleveland, East Cleveland, University Heights, Cleveland Heights, and South Euclid. All of their data that is being collected is shared. All of those municipalities can log on and they can access it as well. And then we also have the option of adding additional municipalities for $4,000 per municipality.
Okay, thank you. Are there questions from the board? Councilman?
Yes. Is this a one-time thing, or is this something we expect to do on an ongoing basis?
We'd like to continue this as an ongoing basis. It's something we'll evaluate the benefit to using, but we believe that this is very useful as we try to strive towards more economic and environmental sustainability, try to reduce traffic, increase tourism, just things like that. Just making everything more accessible just provides a better experience.
And are we finding that the shared mobility devices are getting a substantial update, a major uptake, and that people use them a lot?
I'll have to get back to you on specific user data to find out if those numbers, but we are seeing larger participation and interest from other vendors that want to enter into the county. Having data really provides them, further their interest, see if that's something they want to look into. But specifically the number of users or usage, I'll have to get back to you on that.
Okay, thank you.
Are
I
there
have one quick question.
Yes.
Brianna, did you say this is going to be on behalf of the Department of Sustainability as well?
Yes, so
Okay.
this is going to be paid by sustainability. This is used their special revenue fund, the Sustainability Projects Fund.
So we're amending it on behalf of Department of
Okay.
Sustainability.
Seconded. All in favor to approve as amended, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item's approved. Next item.
Next, item BC 2024-974, Department of Information Technology submitting an RFP exemption which will result in award recommendation to Feathery Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $20,100 for the purchase of advanced logic and API integrations and custom domain support effective upon signatures of all parties for a period of 1 year and submitting a contract with said RFP exemption.
Good morning, Brianna Witt with Department of Information Technology. This is a contract that we're going to use to establish a centralized way of creating forms for all of our different services, for all of our different websites. It's going to use one centralized service. An example would be consumer affairs complaints forms. This consolidates us, keeps it all in one space, allows us to have single user sign-on. It's going to work on all platforms, so forms for residents will be able to use their mobile phone or desktops. All of those will be able to be used in that way without having any difficulty with formatting or anything like that. We've been investigating, trying to look at this for 2 years now. We went with this vendor, Feathery, because they're able to provide us usage-based pricing. So it's $1,425 a month for 500 monthly submissions, which we believe that's sufficient for now. We use roughly 250, and there's 75 different forms that we are going to be putting this in place of.
Thank you, Brianna. Councilman?
Is this gonna save the county any money?
This is going to save the county money in reducing the resources that IT needs to contribute into making sure that all of the forms for different departments and different areas are accessible, meet all of our requirements, meet all of the security needs. So this just keeps it all under one umbrella, so it provides savings in the form of efficiencies for our staff.
Additional questions? Seeing no further questions, I will make the motion to approve the item. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Miller. All in favor to approve, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item?
Next item, BC 2024-975, Department of Human Resources recommending an award on RQ 14912 and submitting a contract with Occupational Health Centers of Ohio, PA Company, DBA Concentra Medical Centers, in the amount not to exceed $480,000 for drug toxicology screening, physical exams, audiograms, and lead blood testing services for prospective and current county employees for the period January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2027.
Stephen Witt with Human Resources. This contract is the result of an RFP that was conducted earlier this year. The highest scoring vendor was Concentra, who provides the best value, the best flexibility within the county. The primary use of these services are drug screening for prospective county employees, for new hires, as well as physical exams for those departments that utilize physical exams before finalizing their hires. In addition, drug screenings and physicals could be used if there's a like post-accident testing, if a county employee is driving a county vehicle and is in an accident. If there's suspicion, they could use it there. As I mentioned, Concentra has the best flexibility. They have multiple locations around the county. Some of the other vendors were located out of county and thus would be subcontracting to various providers.
Okay. Thank you, Stephen. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve it. Is there a second? Second. Seconded by Mr. Dever. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item's approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2024-976, Department of Human Resources recommending an award on RQ 14965 and submitting a contract with GPI Enterprises Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $300,000 for temporary staffing services effective upon signatures of all parties for the period January 1st, 2025 through March 31st, 2028.
Stephen Witt with Human Resources. This contract with GPI is also the result of an RFP conducted earlier this year. This is for temporary staffing for HR and other agencies within the county that have a need to utilize temporary staffing. We had 13 submissions. Of those submissions, GPI was the highest ranked vendor. They are DEI compliant, as they themselves are a women-owned small business within the metro area.
Okay, thank you. Are there questions for the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Turner. All in favor to approve, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2024-977, Court of Common Pleas Juvenile Court Division submitting an amendment to a contract with Ohio Guidestone by Diversion Case Management Services for the period July 1st, 2022 through June 30th, 2024, to extend the time period to June 30th, 2026, to increase the per diem rates and change the insurance requirements effective July 1st, 2024, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $40,000.
Good morning, Sharon Allen, Juvenile Court. This contract amendment is to provide strength-based diversion case management services for youth and their families through the Pro Kid and Families Program with Ohio Guidestone. This contract is 100% funded by the Reclaim Grant.
Okay, Sharon, thank you. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve it. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Dever. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item is approved. Next item, please.
Thank you.
Next item, BC 2024-978, Sheriff's Department recommending an award and submitting a purchase order with Ray Secure Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $241,000 for a sole source purchase of 2 X-ray devices to scan inmate mail, including delivery, installation, and a 5-year warranty.
Good morning, Chris Costin, Sheriff's Department. This item is to purchase 2 mail scanners that will scan the mail going into the jail. It's a non-invasive security system that will detect concealed items, including powders, liquids, treated papers, and other types of drugs and contraband. Current quote is $241,000. We do get a $7,500 discount if we get the PO out by the end of the year.
Thank you, Chris. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve it. Is there a second? Second by Mr. McAleer. All in favor to approve, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item is approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2024-979, Sheriff's Department submitting an amendment to agreement with Village of Highland Hills for inmate housing services for the period January 1st, 2020 through December 31st, 2024, to extend the time period to December 31st, 2025, and to change the per diem rate from $173 to $189.34 per inmate, effective upon signatures of all parties, and for additional revenue in the estimate amount of $10,000.
Chris Costin, Sheriff's Department. Like the clerk said, this item is amending our current agreement that we have with Highland Hills for our prisoner boarding care.
Thank you, Chris.
Question.
Please.
Do you have any data on how many inmates we actually get from the village?
Just from Highland Hills, I believe it's 15 so far, year to date, yes.
Half the village, no.
Are there additional questions? No? Okay, seeing no further questions, I will make a motion to approve it. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilwoman Turner. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Item approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2024-980, Sheriff's Department submitting an amendment to a contract with Lexipol LLC for subscription-based risk management and policy manual services for the period January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2024, to extend the time period to December 31st, 2025, to replace Article 6 insurance with Exhibit B, new Article 6, effective upon signatures of all parties, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $25,427.94.
Chris Costin, Sheriff's Department. This is amending our current contract we have with Lexipol. It's to help push out policies and procedure manuals for our law enforcement division.
Okay, Chris, thank you. Questions from the board? Seeing no questions, I will make the motion to approve it. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Dever. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2024-981, Sheriff's Department submitting an amendment to a contract with the Legal News Publishing Company Limited, DBA Daily Legal News Publishing, for legal advertisements of notice of foreclosure sales for delinquent land taxes in accordance with Ohio Revised Code Section 2329.26 for the period March 20th, 2023 through March 19th, 2025, to extend the time period to March 20th, 2027, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $495,000.
Chris Costin, Sheriff's Department. This is amending our current contract with Daily Legal News for an additional 2 years for our legal advertisements for delinquent land taxes.
Okay, thank you. Are there questions from the board on this item?
Yes, just a comment based on the response received that we need to renew our efforts to get the state to allow us to do more of this online. This is the 21st century, and I wonder how many people go pouring through printed documents in the daily legal news. I think people are going to be looking for online sources, and it's going to be cheaper and better. And we just extended our or hired a new firm for our state lobbying contract. We should get with them and get this on their priority list.
Just to comment on that as well, I know some of our auditors, we were able to get one print and then one online, so they have started it. But you're right. I think we could do better with that money. Any additional comments? Seeing no further comments, I will make the motion to approve it. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Dever. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved. Next item.
Next, item BC 2024-982, Medical Examiner's Office submitting an RFP exemption which will result in award recommendation to Promega Corporation in the amount not to exceed $14,618.70 for the purchase of DNA kits used for forensic casework analysis and submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption.
Hugh Shannon, Medical Examiner's Office. We're using some ARPA funds for additional supplies for DNA.
Okay, Hugh, thank you. Are there questions from the board? No questions. I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilwoman Turner. All in favor to approve, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved. Next item.
Next, item BC 2024-983, Medical Examiner's Office submitting an amendment to a contract with Partners in Medical Education Incorporated for consulting services related to documentation review and site visit preparation for the upcoming follow-up Accreditation Council for Graduate Medical Education accreditation site visit in March of 2025 for the period October 28, 2024 through December 31st, 2024, to extend the time period to January 30th, 2025, to expand the scope of services in accordance with Schedule A, effective upon signatures of all parties, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $7,100.
Hugh Shannon, Medical Examiners. If you'll recall, last month we brought this consulting group on to help us with some changes in the accreditation requirements that ACGME had imposed on us in their last review. We have now gotten a site visit scheduled from ACGME for next year. And so some additional consulting work by this group prior to that visit was warranted. I will note that we are paying for this out of the Coroner Lab Fund, not the general fund.
Thank you, Hugh. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve it. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilwoman Turner. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved.
Thank you.
Next item.
Next, item BC 2024-984, Department of Health and Human Services, Division of Children and Family Services, submitting an amendment to a contract with University of South Florida Board of Trustees for creation, implementation, and maintenance of the Just-in-Time Foster Parent Caregiver Web-based Training Program for the period January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2024, to extend the time period to December 31st, 2025, to update Exhibits 2 and 3 to include Exhibit 2A and Exhibit 3A, which represent the scope of services and budget for the term of this amendment, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $39,557.
Good morning, Marcos Cortez with Health and Human Services on behalf of Children and Family Services. The University of South Florida provides the just-in-time web-based training. The just-in-time training provides information on web-based training videos that facilitate foster parent and relative caregiver learning strategies to improve their parenting skills. These trainings allow our foster care families to maintain their licenses by watching videos at their convenience instead of trying to attend in-person training sessions. We're executing an option year to add an additional one year and funds for that 1 year.
Thank you, Marcos. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make the motion to approve it. Is there a second? Second by Mr. McAleer. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved. Next item.
Next, item BC 2024-985, Department of Health and Human Services, Division of Senior and Adult Services, recommending an award and enter into a contract with CMT Consulting Limited in the amount not to exceed $23,000 for targeted digital display and video advertising and related services to promote services available for women ages 35 to 75 across various Cuyahoga County zip codes for the period January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025.
Good morning, Marcos Cortez again on behalf of Senior and Adult Services. CMT Consulting will create and execute digital display and video advertising with flights from January through December, again targeting women 35 to 75. We'll also have some dashboard capabilities as part of this package to see how many hits we're getting. We did issue an informal RFP for these services. We got 4 bids. In the past, we do this annually. In the past, we've gone with Spectrum for, I don't even know how many years, but this time the divisions chose CMT for these needs.
Okay, thank you again. Are there questions from the board? Mr. Mackler?
Morning, Marcos. Where will the ads be advertised? And just, that's a pretty wide range of ages, especially for senior and adult services. How is 35 to 75 calculated?
That's the information that we're given from the department. I'd have to go back to specifically find out why they chose that 35. But I do know that DSAS doesn't just serve seniors, they do serve folks with, handicap disabilities. So it could be that. It could be also caregivers for seniors. But I can verify that with specifically why that age.
Then can you talk, do you have any information on where they're going to be advertising for the 23,000?
My understanding in the past, it's been through online searches.
Or is that for paying that we come up if people are searching through Google or any search
And
feeds that-
advertisements that you might see when you're
Okay.
doing different searches.
Are there additional questions? Okay, seeing no further questions, I will make a motion to approve the, oh, yeah, sorry, yeah.
Marcos, do we get any data from how effective the advertising is? Is that part of the contract with, or,
I know that there's, like I said, dashboard information, so that'll tell us how many hits, how many views we've seen. I don't know if there's an effective, like an evaluation built in.
all right, thanks.
Okay, seeing no further questions, I will make the motion to approve the item. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Dever. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved. Next item, please.
Next item, BC 2024-986, Department of Health and Human Services, Community Initiatives Division, Office of Early Childhood, submitting an RFP exemption which will result in an award of a master contract with various libraries in the total amount not to exceed $289,055.90 to implement and administer the Family Space Program for the period January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025, as listed for items B1 and 2 on the printed agenda, and submitting a master contract with said RFP exemption.
Marcos Cortez again, on behalf of the Office of Early Childhood, Invest in Children. The Family Space Program offers comprehensive family-centered services through early childhood information, parent education, and family supports in a safe and engaging spaces. Family Space is transitioning from its pilot phase to full implementation. The United Way of Greater Cleveland helped to incubate this program by providing guidance and technical assistance. It's been mutually agreed that Invest in Children would now take on the management of the program.
Okay, Marcos, thank you. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Paul Porter. All in favor to approve, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item approved. Next item.
Next item, exemption, BC 2024-987, Department of Health and Human Services, Division of Children and Family Services, recommending to amend Board of Control Approval Number BC 2024-77, dated January 29, 2024, which amended multiple prior approved alternate procurement processes, resulting in purchase orders to various licensed providers for reimbursement for out-of-home care placement services for the period December 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2024, and the amount not to exceed $1 million by extending the time period to December 31st, 2025, and by changing the amount not to exceed from $1 million to $1,500,000.
Marcos Cortez again. As you recall, we used to do these time-sensitive mission criticals to pay vendors when we had to place a child in care. We have used this alternative procurement process since the end of 2022 that allows us to pay vendors that has a child in care until we can add them to the master contract. Again, we're extending the time 1 more year and adding funding for that year.
Thank you, Marcos. Are there questions? Seeing no questions from the board, I will make the motion to approve the item. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Turner. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item's approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on.
Moving on to consent agenda items, BC 2024-988 through BC 2024-995.
Okay, board members, feel free to ask any questions on any of those items.
With the, 994, paying that reimbursement, this is the certification.
990.
DOJ.
Good morning, Chris Costin, Sheriff's Department. Washington DC Metro will be reimbursing our expenses.
Additional questions? Mr. Dever? No? You good? Okay, seeing no further questions, I will make a motion to approve today's consent agenda items as listed. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Dever. All in favor to approve, say aye. Aye. Opposed? They are approved. Moving on to other business.
Yes, we have one other business, time-sensitive, mission-critical.
Okay,
BC 2024-996, Department of Public Works, recommending an award and submitting a purchase order to Rollins Incorporated, DBA Orkin LLC, in the amount not to exceed $2,100 for pest control services outside the scope of the county's existing contract with the vendor.
Good morning, Tom Pavich, Public Works. This is an item we're requesting approval of a purchase order. It's with Orkin. It's for a service that was outside the normal scope with Orkin. That was director approved.
okay, thank you, Mr. Pavich. Are there questions from the board on this item?
So we have a standard contract with Orkin, and we had services outside the scope with bed bugs. So we tried to eradicate those through the contract, and we did a outside the scope service for those services with Orkin.
Are there additional questions on the item?
Move for approval.
Move for approval?
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Turner. All in favor to approve, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved.
Thank you.
Any other business?
No other business?
Any public comment?
No public comment?
I will.
If I could, just a
Oh.
quick note that next week's meeting is canceled.
Really, Paul? Very nice.
Thank you.
Okay. Councilman?
Same question.
Okay, wonderful. We can enjoy our time off. I will make a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Dever. All in favor to adjourn, say aye. Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.